Listening is an act of love. Thank you. You can help lift up the voices, stories, and challenges we share by making a contribution at thiswayout.org.
A sincere thank you to all of you who already support This Way Out. Your support matters.
I'm Marcos Nájera.
And I'm Tanya Kane-Perry.
With NewsWrap, a summary of some of the news in or affecting LGBTQ communities around the world for the week ending December 11th, 2021. Lesbian and gay couples will soon be legally marrying in Chile. The bill to open the civil institution to queer couples was signed by President Sebastian Pinera on December 9th after it passed in both chambers of Congress. It's taken a while. Movil is the South American country's major LGBTQ advocacy group, and it's been pushing for marriage equality since at least 2012. Less than equal civil unions have been available to gay and lesbian couples since 2015. When UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Michelle Bachelet was Chile's president, her government introduced a marriage equality bill in 2017. It languished in Congress until her conservative, anti-equality successor Pinera unexpectedly changed his mind. He announced his support for the measure in June. The first same-gender weddings are expected to take place shortly before his term expires in March. By the New York Times count, Chile will be the 31st marriage equality country on the planet. Not a moment too soon. There's a runoff election on December 19th pitting far-right anti-queer Congressman José Antonio Cast against left-leaning former student activist Gabriel Boric in a race to replace Pinera. Cast topped all candidates in November's first round of presidential voting, with Boric finishing second.
Tokyo Governor Yuriko Koike said this week that her government would be creating a path to legally recognize same-gender couples by April of 2022. Her announcement follows a unanimous call for the action by the Metropolitan Assembly of Japan's capital city. Gay and lesbian couples would be able to share and rent homes together and to have mutual hospital visitation rights under the Limited Partnership Plan. Tokyo is not the first to make this move. More than 100 other municipal governments have already done so, but it will make Tokyo the largest jurisdiction in Japan to extend some type of recognition to same-gender couples. When Tokyo begins to issue recognition certificates, about half the country's gay and lesbian couples will be living in areas that at least symbolically recognize their unions, according to Bloomberg News. That symbolism is far from enough, according to critics of the partnership offers in Tokyo and the smaller jurisdictions. Still, Japan's conservative federal government resists calls for nationwide marriage equality, even though it's the only G7 nation without it. Some lawmakers claim that even symbolic recognition undermines Japan's traditional family system.
New Zealand's trans citizens will be able to change the gender designation on their birth certificates without medical or legal intervention. Debate on the bill has raised the heat sometimes since its introduction in 2018. After its third reading in this legislative session, the final December 9th vote was unanimous. The bill replaces the requirement for legal and medical gender certification with a simple statutory declaration. Cisgender lesbian Green Party MP, Dr. Elizabeth Karikare, told her colleagues, "This bill recognizes that those who need to amend their birth certificate can do so, that the courts do not have the right to make the choice for them, that parents do not have that right, that cisgender people who don't even know them or care about them do not have that right." Lawmakers will go into consultation with trans and queer organizations to determine how to implement the new rule with sensitivity to cultural issues, to figure out how minors might be included, and to be inclusive of non-binary people. The measure will take effect in about 18 months.
Canada's Senate unanimously approved a bill on December 7th to ban conversion therapy nationwide. It had passed unanimously in the House on December 1st. The Governor-General of Canada quickly gave the required royal assent as the Queen's representative, according to the Washington, D.C. newspaper The Hill. The law is expected to take effect next month. Those purporting to be conversion therapists claim the power to turn queer people straight, usually with a combination of counseling and prayer. It's a medically debunked practice that often creates even more psychological problems for its victimized patients. Bill C-4 amends Canada's criminal code, making it illegal to cause another person to undergo conversion therapy, to remove a child from Canada with the intention that the child undergo conversion therapy outside Canada, to promote or advertise conversion therapy, and to receive a financial or other material benefit from the provision of conversion therapy. It also authorizes courts to order that advertisements for conversion therapy be removed. No Conversion Canada founder Nicholas Schiavo told The Hill, "Today, as we celebrate this historic moment, we must thank survivors and their tireless advocacy to reach this moment where conversion therapy is finally outlawed in our country." Canada joins a small number of other countries that have banned conversion therapy, including Brazil, Ecuador, Germany, and Malta.
Lawmakers in the Australian state of Victoria have voted to protect employees of religious institutions. The measure prevents religious schools and other institutions from firing or refusing to hire any staff member based on sexual orientation or gender identity. It also prevents those schools from expelling students on that basis. The Upper House of Parliament voted 22-12 on December 3rd to approve the Equality Opportunity Religious Exceptions Amendment Bill. It had passed in the lower house in November. The bill goes on to prohibit government-funded religious entities from refusing services to LGBTQ people. Religious schools and other institutions can still make employment decisions based on religious belief when it's integral to the job, such as the hiring of a religious studies teacher or school principal. State Attorney General Jacqueline Sims noted that some teachers and staff at religious schools stay closeted for fear of being sacked. They've seen their peers lose jobs elsewhere just for getting married. Sims hoped that, with these changes, all Victorians can live authentically, free of fear, and in no doubt that the law has their back too.
As Brazil's parliament looks into President Jair Bolsonaro's handling of the coronavirus pandemic, a Supreme Court justice has ordered an investigation into his claim that COVID vaccination increases the chances of contracting AIDS. The notoriously homophobic vax denier's absurd assertion was broadcast live in October and carried by a number of social media platforms. Justice Alexandra de Moraes ordered the probe in answer to a request from the Senate committee now investigating Bolsonaro's management of the crisis. It's looking into charges that Bolsonaro committed 9 specific crimes related to his widely criticized pandemic response, including crimes against humanity. Unfortunately, Brazil's prosecutor general is a Bolsonaro appointee. The court's order implies that Moraes intends to closely scrutinize the investigation, as Reuters reports. That includes the justice's insistence on regularly reviewing documents showing the status of the investigation in question. Bolsonaro redefines misogynistic machismo. He's refused to get vaccinated and already survived a minor bout with COVID. His country is second only to the United States in fatalities, with more than 650,000 COVID deaths. Yet as the numbers spiked in March, the president told Brazilians to stop whining about the pandemic. Even in the face of the investigations, Bolsonaro, of course, insists that he is guilty of absolutely nothing.
Finally, U.S. Republican Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin is not fazed by the nearly 800,000 COVID deaths in his country. He continues to downplay the seriousness of the pandemic. Johnson most recently advised his social media followers to gargle with a popular mouthwash to kill the virus, a prescription that would be laughable if it weren't potentially lethal. CBS TV's Late Show host Stephen Colbert was not having it.
Last week, Johnson accused Anthony Fauci of overhyping COVID and claims it wasn't the first time.
Fauci did the exact same thing with AIDS. He overhyped it.
Yes, AIDS, the pandemic the federal government famously took too seriously. Well, if AIDS was overhyped, Senator Johnson, then I guess you don't have to wear protection when you go yourself.
That's NewsWrap, global queer news with attitude for the week ending December 11th, 2021. Follow the news in your area and around the world. An informed community is a strong community.
NewsWrap is written by Greg Gordon, edited by Lucia Chappelle, produced by Brian DeShazer, and brought to you by you.
Help keep us in ears around the world at thiswayout.org, where you can also read the text of this newscast and much more.
And you can read the transcript and listen to NewsWrap each week by subscribing to our This Way Out radio channel on YouTube. For This Way Out, I'm Marcos Nájera. Stay healthy.
And I'm Tanya Kane Perry. Stay safe.
This Way Out delivers LGBTQ news and culture to more than 150 local communities on radio stations around the world, and we are also a free online news service. You can choose your favorite way to listen, online or on the air, at thiswayout.org. Please sign up for our free e-newsletter, Inside This Way Out. We will respect your trust in us and make sure your personal information is never shared with others.
Just send us an email at info@thiswayout.org to receive the informative and unique addition to the show. You'll be invited to join us for a more in-depth look into our stories and be encouraged to learn more about This Way Out's 3 decades of broadcast activism.
We hope you choose to join us in celebration of LGBTQ history and culture. Email us at info@thiswayout.org to join the movement.
We'll make sure you always know what's going on inside This Way Out.